So the plan is to teach you 2 warm-up exercises on the cello. What do you usually do when you warm up?
When I warm up, I play scales.
Just regular scales?
Yeah, just major scales.
So, this might be kind of hard to explain, but the relationship between a half step and a whole step on the cello, just demonstrate that for me.
Just show you?
Yeah, just like an A on the A string. What's a half step and what's a whole step?
That's a whole step. That's a half step.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 half steps makes a whole. That's like pretty basic music theory. So the point of these warm-up exercises is not only it helps you work your fingers a lot and get like strong muscles in your fingers, which is necessary. These muscles too, it warms up the ones in your forearm. And then the second one helps understand the relationship, like kind of with scales, whole steps and half steps. So the first one, I'll demonstrate it to you, and then I'll have you repeat it. Like I'll teach you how to do it. So we start off on the A string, on the E. So it's a pattern, and every time we complete the pattern, we shift down a half step.
Okay.
So the first pattern is 1, 4, 3, 4, and you repeat that 4 times. So let's do that. And then it's 1, 1, 4, 2, 4.
Okay.
And then 1, 3, 2, 3. Okay, so let's speed that up a little bit. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, so that's the pattern, and you can literally do that anywhere on the cello. It gets harder to do it when you when you shift up, because then you have to change it to 1, 3 and a high 2 and a low 2. So I don't usually do it higher up than that. But you can start on the D string and go down, you can start on the G and go down, and the C and go down.
Okay.
So I want you to pick one of the strings and play that pattern all the way through, and then shift down a half step and do it again.
Okay.
So I want to demonstrate that you can memorize the pattern.
Okay. You can kind of hear there's a very distinct pattern. And so what is it that we're playing? Like, what are these? Do you know the relationship between the notes up here? Yeah, it's just.
So this is how many, because like this is whole step versus half step, especially when you get to the third part. So that's a whole step, and then from here, half step, right?
Yeah.
So that's the point of that one, is to try to get familiar with your fingers, and you can do it as fast as you want, you can do it as slow as you want. One thing that my teacher would have me do, and he recommended to do it really slowly and pinpoint, like it can practice you your intonation on those. So you can do really slow, like. Why do you think that would be useful to practice the intonation?
Because then you can know and feel exactly where the notes are in tune.
Exactly. And so, why do you think you would play this with vibrato? Do you think you'd ever?
If you wanted to practice vibrato, if you're doing it slowly.
If you're doing it slowly, exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of hard to do vibrato if you're trying to do it fast. Like, try to do that, it's pretty much impossible. Like you just can't do that. So that's the point of the first exercise. So the second exercise is a little bit harder, but it's the same thing. It's a pattern, and you just have to be able to memorize the pattern. So we start on the D on the A string. Okay, so I'll play it first, and then I'll kind of explain with the numbers what you've used. And the good thing about these is that you don't have to use, like you read sheet music, obviously. You don't have to read sheet music, but I was introduced to them with sheet music, and that helps me memorize it. But it depends on what kind of a learner you are. If you can memorize the pattern, it seems like you did that really, really well, and then you can adapt it.
Yeah.
So that should work for you. So this one is just a little bit more complicated, but once you learn the pattern, you can apply it to different parts on the cello. I doing gradually going up?
Yeah, you're going down all the strings, but you're also shifting.
Also shifting, and by what increment am I shifting? You hear that? So I'm doing, yeah, exactly, it's a half and whole step. Yeah. So it really helps with the relationship between halves and wholes here. So, and then that's another thing you can do it really slow if you're wanting to practice what?
Vibrato and intonation.
Intonation, and then fast for what?
Speed.
Yeah, speed. And that's really important too, is I'm sure you do that with scales. Play them really slow to practice the intonation, play them really fast to practice. Especially the more you repeat something, what do musicians have? Do you know what that's called?
Muscle memory.
Exactly, muscle memory.
Yeah.
And that, I actually think that's really cool. Not everyone has that. Athletes get to do that. You know, but when you're studying like math, your brain kind of has muscle memory, but it's not really the same thing. Yeah. So it's really helpful to know how to train your body to repeat things over and over again so that you can have a muscle memory. So the pattern for this one, on the top string, you'll do 4, 2, 1, and then you'll shift down a string, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, or 3, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1. We might write this one out because it's easier to see it that way. So 4, 2, 1. Then 3, 4, 1. Then 3, 1, 4. Then 1, 4, 1. So you can kind of hear it, right? So if you don't originally have the pattern yet, it's helpful to hear it, right?
Yeah.
So 4, 2, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 1, 4. 1, 4, 1. So now can you picture that on a staff? Kind of. Kind of the basic shape. So it's da 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 da, and then it goes back up to the top.
Yeah.
So that's how we can do that. So let's do it again a little bit faster.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one's the opposite. See, that one's kind of harder. So you're doing 3, 4, 1, and then you're doing 3, 1, 4.
Okay. Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. 3, 1, 4, 1, 4.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Let's write it out, because that's how I first learned it. Was you made me write out the pattern. So I'll get a piece of paper really quick, and I want you to practice the half and whole step one, the first pattern.
Okay.
1, 4, 3, 4. Okay, so this is I've drawn them out on a poorly made staff. I want you to write the finger numbers on there. So if that's just bass clef, just normal, you start with 4, right? So, and we're not using sharps. So if we're not using any sharps, then we're in a major key. Except for the F sharp. So technically, what key are we in? Do you know?
G.
Yes, exactly.
Very good. Thank you.
I know, when it comes to music theory, I'm not the greatest, but I do know my keys. Yep, 3, 1, 4.
I feel like I'm going to mess up because I'm on camera. It's going to be great. Like that, right?
Yep, exactly. Yep. So that's perfect. So I'll hold this up. You just play it one time.
All right.
And I heard you playing it when the camera was off, but just...
Yeah, that's actually a 3, but...
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I can do that again.
Pretend. Yep.
My bad.
I threw you off by saying that there weren't any sharps.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay. Exactly. So now that you've seen this, you'll kind of remember what it looks like.
Yeah.
And because you're using the muscle memory. So the other thing I want to talk about when we play the cello is like feeling it. Do you have any pieces memorized? You have any memorized?
Sort
or
of.
partially memorized?
Yeah, partially.
What helps you remember that?
Repetition and hearing it a lot. So.
Is there anything else? Like, have you ever hated a piece of music and you've been forced to play it, and you've repeated it a lot, and then you forgot it? That's because you didn't personally attach yourself to the music. So if there's ever a favorite piece of music, like a favorite song, you know almost every one, right? Like that helps you remember it. So what I want you to do with these is feel it, either by, and sometimes that can be playing it really fast, playing it really slow, however you want to, but I want you to close your eyes when you're playing it, play it fast or slow, your choice, and just kind of let yourself feel the music, and that will help you along with the muscle memory and along with being able to look at it and read it to help you remember.
Okay.
So as slow or as fast as you want.
Alright, sounds good.
Okay, so now we're going to learn the rest of the pattern.
Okay.
So after we do that first full course, we repeat half of it.
Okay.
Then we take from, we're in first position, we shift up a half step. Shift up a half step. Okay, so let's play it really slowly. So do you can you kind of visualize that a little bit? Okay, so first pattern, we'll play it a little slower so we make sure we get the right notes. Okay. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a go. Different strings. Instead of the top two, play it on the middle two or the bottom two.
Okay.
Same pattern. You get how you can use it on any strings. I mean, obviously you can't start on the bottom. That wouldn't make very much sense. But that's the whole point of these, is that like, even with this first one, you can do it here. You can start in the middle of the string. Okay, so that's the point, is that if you remember those and you do those with your scales, what's going to happen?
It's going to make, well, the muscle memory will be better, and I'll be more in tune.
Exactly. Perfect. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, okay, good. That makes sense. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good job. Thank you.
You bet.